Hello, welcome, my beautiful friends and fellow seekers. Welcome to Coffee with the Council Reprise. Ooh, camera's a little messy. Hi. Hello, Carrie. Yay, Greg. Yay, Carrie. Hello, Gwentir. Hello. Happy Thursday. I have to adjust my camera. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Much better. Look at this beautiful waterfall. I just love this one. Doesn't look as big as it used to in the old interface. I think I'm slowly getting used to this. Hello, my friends. I hope you're well. How are you today? What's going on? Carrie, I got your message. I've been dealing with something personal on my end today, but I have been holding you in my heart. Ooh, my lighting. Actually, the lighting looks okay, doesn't it? It didn't happen. No one signed up. There's my lighting. That looks a little better. Good morning, Joanne. Hello. Yeah, Gwen, nobody signed up. So, didn't happen. So I canceled it the night before, which was perfect because I needed the time and the space. Okay. Sorry, just checking lighting. I just finished lunch. I've been in a bit of a rush, and quite honestly, I've been very emotionally challenged today by something going on in my job. But what's fascinating is I'm so sometimes horribly aware that I'm the one experiencing the trigger. Something needs to change in the process that we're doing at the job that is associated with this. But I went on a long walk this morning, and I was oh God, I was so upset. I was so upset, and I just kept walking, and I was trying to do Ho'oponopono on my own, which right now I seem to only be able to do with the recording that Suzanne gave me. Thank you. I love this background. And yeah, I just was like, what is causing why am I getting so triggered? And then I realized that I was already at my maximum workload last month. And then the details don't matter. This certain thing started happening, and it just put me over the edge. Like, it put me into overwhelm when it first started happening, because it was so unexpected. This was a brand new situation that I was in. And so now, about a month later, not quite, maybe 3 weeks later, now every time this person puts a particular comment in our group thing in a certain way about certain things, I immediately go into overwhelm, even though I'm not overwhelmed with my workload anymore. So it really struck me while I was on my walk. Oh, and what really helped was the Moments of Joy game. I started seeing some beautiful flowers and landscapes and rocks and buildings, and I was just saying, every time I could think of it, I was like, oh, look, that's a 7. And like, oh, that beautiful flower. This one tree had the most beautiful pink and white flowers. I think they were hibiscus. I'm not sure, but it had shed and dropped some of its flowers on the sidewalk, and I feel like it was sprinkling. I walked right into it, and I felt this beautiful love energy, and I was like, oh, this tree is like sprinkling the sidewalk with its beauty, with its love. And I was just like, oh my God, that's a total 10. And I stopped and I looked at the flowers, and they were so pretty, and I think they're hibiscus. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, isn't that wonderful, Joanne? So cool. And here I was in the depths of, I'm pissed about this situation. I'm triggered to all get out. Like, I was so triggered this morning. I need to stop looking at work-related messages until after I've meditated. That's also a thing that I can do for myself. I need to not look at them in the morning. They're not freaking important the first thing when I wake up. They're not important. I'm important. So I need to change that. But I was so upset. I was so overwhelmed, and I was so frustrated. And yet here is this moment It's like I'm moved to tears just sharing it with you guys. This beautiful tree with its arms like reaching out over and just covering me. And I felt so safe and so loved in that moment. And I was like, oh, duh, that's right. Duh, that's right. I am safe. I am secure. I am deeply loved. I am just responding to this situation from a pattern of thought. This is not what's really going on. And what is the opportunity here? What is the opportunity here? And the opportunity is that we have the chance of refining certain business process. Also, I have this beautiful opportunity to look at how I respond when I have this belief that somebody is being an armchair quarterback, when somebody is trying to do my job, or somebody's trying to, somebody from the outside, or as I'm going to call it, fishbowl quarterback, the person who stands outside the fishbowl and looks at the fish and is out of context. Yeah, it's all perception and responding. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm not free from this yet today. I did Ho'oponopono. I have this meditation that Susan Sage gave me. I did Ho'oponopono. I meditated myself for a half an hour. I did some releasing, but I can still feel like I'm actually avoiding the communications platform that we use, because if I see any messages from anybody, I'm going to get triggered again right now. So this is part of self-care. I also left a message for everybody saying that I was overwhelmed and frustrated and would be off that platform for the day, because I don't want to come out sideways to anybody because of how I'm feeling. It's not their fault. They're doing what they think is best. So anyways, long story short, it's been a rough morning and I had to rush to get lunch in, and here we are. And I actually haven't finished lunch today. Not coffee. I am drinking Izzy sparkling water. Have you guys ever seen these? This one's blackberry. It's just juice. It contains 60% juice and the rest of it's sparkling water. No added sugars. Absolutely delicious. That's what I'm drinking. So I'm going to open that. I love blackberries too. I like berries and fruit just in general. This is like so much better for me. Anyways, welcome to anybody who's new. I don't trust the numbers that I'm seeing on my new interface yet, so you guys can let me know how many people are technically, quote unquote, actually here. Welcome to Coffee with the Council Reprise. Today, we are going to be looking at 12. Oh, interesting. That's what my number says. Maybe they fixed the bug. I don't care. I don't care. We're here to have fun, to spend time together. I was actually getting really excited about the live stream today because we're getting in this, there's becoming this trend, it seems, is that like somebody in the group has an aha almost every single live stream, right? And since I'm all about championing and celebrating my ahas and yours, I'm actually getting excited. I'm looking forward and I get curious about who's going to have an aha today, right? So just more reasons to celebrate. So I'm looking forward. Today we're going to be looking at the April 4th message from the council, which was all about how Not-Yet-Ness relates with Is-ness. So yay for another interesting time-related topic. Gwen says, I love how Source gives you these experiences to share with us and help us. It's certainly a beneficial outcome in all things. You know what? I appreciate you saying that, Gwen. I appreciate that a lot. And Carrie says, yes, Gwen. Hi, Alicia. Good to have you. Yay. Love to you too. You already did, Carrie? How did you have an aha already? I love these. God, they're so good. Those are a 10. Oh my God. This drink right now is a 10 on the Moments of Joy game scale. Blackberry Izzy. Sparkling blackberry. God, it's a 10. My lunch was a 10. I love my food choices. Absolutely. Anyways, enough about me. How are you guys? Get out of here, bug. A bug's trying to say hello. Carrie says, because I realize what my journey is all about as a projector. And what is that, dear friend? Do tell us, please. We are about to hear what Carrie's journey is all about as a projector. If you've never heard of the reference of projector, It's a type of energy type in the human design system. And both Carrie and I are projectors. You are too, Varsha? That's so cool. I love being a projector. I love talking to other projectors because we get each other. We get the subtleties and nuances about managing our energy and how we don't have our own internal battery, and or our battery doesn't get charged by just doing more. We have to rest, we have to relax, we have to play, we have to recreate, and then that our whole role here is for others to recognize us, invite us in, and then to share our wisdom and perceptions and insights that many other people don't necessarily have. It's fun being a projector. Now, I like being a projector now. Hello, welcome to anybody who's joining for the first time. We're about to get started. Please tell us where you're from. If this is your first time, we love to greet what we call firsties, who are basically just friends we've only just now met. New friends, new members of the community. So welcome on board. Feel free to say hi and tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're drinking, whatever. It is Coffee with the Council, after all. If you're absolutely brand new to me, my name is Greg Phillips. I'm a way shower, and I'm a champion of other people's aha moments. It is my absolute highest thrill, joy, and excitement to help spark and witness breakthrough moments, shifts in perception, expansions of awareness and consciousness, seeing something in a whole new way. That stuff just gets me going in a really positive way. So I love that. That's my role here. That's my mission, if you will. There's lots of different ways I do that. Lately, it's been channeling the Council of Seven, who is this beautiful group of a collective of guides from all sorts of different places. They don't identify individually. They come to me as a group, as a council. Some of them have had incarnations, they've said, on the planet of Earth. Some of them are from other civilizations. Some are just pure essential spirit energy. Just lots of variety. Maybe someday we'll learn more about them as a whole. But they represent 7 distinct energies that they have said are absolutely essential for our spiritual evolution on the planet today, and the first of which is love, and the second, which is unity. So what they've been talking to us about since April is the concept of Is-ness, and there's lots of really cool information. And so this month in May, we're doing a replay of that. Carrie says, the investigator martyr my many traumas in my life, and that I keep showing up, shining my light as I'm resilient and courageous. Yay, Carrie! Resilient and courageous Carrie. I love that for you. So freaking cool. So freaking cool. Yay, Carrie. Carrie needs her own website. Yaycarrie.com. All right, my friends. You're welcome, dear. Anyone else want to share how they're doing before I turn the replay on? Who loves this moon? Look at that moon. I love that moon. I love this waterfall too. I know Peter Brook likes the waterfalls. Gwen says, courageous Carrie with a big heart. I love that. I get very uncomfortable when I feel frustrated and overwhelmed and negative emotions. I don't like it. But sitting with it and embracing it and just being with the isness of it is really my path through it. Carrie says, so more journaling and sharing my stories. Good for you. Good for you, my dear sister. Blend lovely. All right, let's get started. Shall we? Let's see. Let's set up the video. There we go. Okay, this video is from April 4th, 2025, and this is the beginning of the message. Joanne says, that's amazing, Carrie. My mantra is, I am powerful, I am resilient, I am courageous, I am a warrior. You are, Joanne. I love that. I agree, Gwen. She said, I found that overwhelm serves me as a way to say I need help. Yeah, overwhelm is me feeling like I have to do it all myself. But in this case, while I was already overwhelmed, I built up resentment and bitterness, which, by the way, is the sort of the shadow side of a projector, bitterness. And I was getting bitter because of the beliefs that I had created around what this particular individual was doing, even though his intentions were of the utmost purity. Although I do wonder if they were coming from stress and panic on his part. I may never know. I'm only responsible for my emotions. So yeah, I did need help. I asked for my manager this week for help, and we're working together on that. We'll be coming up with new solutions, and he's actually speaking with this individual tomorrow, which hopefully will go well. So anyways, let us start our replay. For those of you who are new to the Reprise sessions, I will occasionally be inspired to pause the replay video and provide extra insight and commentary, and folks have said that's really helpful. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Greetings and good day to all of you, our dearly beloved friends. We greet you from the energetic realms where we honor, love, and celebrate each and every aspect of each and every one of you exactly as you are in this moment. This indeed is one of our greatest joys, as is meeting with you. Thank you so much for being here today. And indeed, Greg was correct. We are indeed teaching you a masterclass on some capacity. Now, understand that this is not a masterclass of information. While we do share information and points of information and data and words, etc. with you, what we are truly doing is transmitting frequencies of energy into your very being so that you may feel and register them at a level beyond your physical mind. Now, your physical mind, indeed, as we had noted with Greg's assistance earlier, the clarification we think was very well done. We hope that you understand it, and today we are very excited to get into the next aspect of Is-ness, and indeed there will be more to come next week, for we feel that Is-ness is an absolutely vital concept for understanding the transition between the frequency or energy of love and the energy of unity. The energy of unity is the second of the 7 energies that we have come to represent to you, to share with you, which we revealed, ironically and yet not so ironically, very synchronously, on your Valentine's Day, February 14th, the day in which many individuals actually celebrate love. And love and unity are indeed intimately related, and understanding Is-ness is essential for understanding the relationship and the transition from the energy of love to the energy of unity. Today we will be discussing Not-Yet-Ness. Indeed, for we have talked about the moment, the now. We have talked about the past in the shape of was-ness. For those who missed it, who will be catching up with the replays, was-ness, quite simply defined, is is-ness weighed down by story. We love this definition, and we hope that this works for you. It is simple and straightforward. Yesterday's encouragement was to understand was-ness in order to recognize when you are living from a state of was-ness versus the state of is-ness. And along those same lines, we will do the same regarding not-yet-ness. This indeed is a state of being that is out of alignment with is-ness. It is also not in any way the same state of being as was-ness. It is its own unique state of being. The simple definition of not-yet-ness is a state of being which is is-ness burdened by longing, yearning, wishful thinking, hopefulness. Now, we do not mean the kind of hope that fills your heart and inspires you to move forward, we mean the kind of hope that your mind will latch onto. And the best description for this we find is yearning or longing. For these are very different. Hope, desire, yearning, longing. These all reflect different thoughts, states, feelings, if you will, that have different energies. But in particular, yearning and longing go together quite well. And in terms of the mental activity, they can be tied to wishful thinking, if you will. Now, there is another subtle aspect of not-yet-ness that is purely of the mind. That is the activity of planning for the future. Now, there is nothing wrong inherently with making plans. Energetically speaking, though, the most fulfilled lifestyle that you can embody, if you will, not necessarily lifestyle, but the most fulfilling path of living, if you will, is the one of synchronicity. And the one of synchronicity does not necessarily require plans. Now, planning is important if you come up with a particular project that you are impassioned and excited about. Indeed, you do need to lay forth some plans, put together some ideas, cultivate some concepts, and play with some different approaches, if you will. This indeed, when it's related to a project, and particularly one that is a project you find passion and joy and a sense of fulfillment in pursuing, this indeed is a powerful and appropriate use of planning. But when you are busy planning your life out, there is an old adage from certain spiritual circles over many, many decades that life is what happens when you are busy making other plans. We are sure that you probably understand this and have heard this before. So here we have these two concepts related to not-yet-ness. The aspect of the mind attempting to plan out your life ahead of you, and the aspect of the energetic aspect of longing and yearning. Now, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I was muted. Okay. So, if you think, Catherine, if you want me to pause, please type in the chat. Can you please pause? Because if you have a question about that, or if you're like, oh, I want to chew on that a little bit more, and I'm wondering, can Greg talk about this a little bit more? So feel free to do that, because as Madeline said, we are doing these replays in order to, dive deeper into this stuff. So, an important thing that's just coming up sort of intuitively for me while the council is talking about this, there is an aspect of living in not-yet-ness that, and this is not 100% of the time, but there is an aspect of it, like planning your future out and planning every single step you're going to take, and then over-identifying with those plans. There is an aspect of trying to control outcomes. Now, I can't remember if they end up talking about this, but this feels like it's a really significant thing to point out today, because a lot of the times what we're doing when we're living in projecting the future, or when we're worrying about what will come in the future, which is really just making plans for the worst, right? When you have positive expectation and excitement and joy for what's coming, when you're in the synchronicity of life, which is purely in the moment, you have that joy, you have that excitement, you are thinking in a way where you're planning for the best. When we worry and when we get scared, we're planning for the worst to occur, and of course we're creating our reality. So what happens? The worst occurs. But there's an aspect of trying to control what happens, and it's really important. Okay, what they're telling me, it's important that when you recognize that you are attempting to control what outcomes, right, to recognize where that's coming from. And it's 9 times out of 10, or maybe 100%, I don't know, but many of the times it's coming from a lack of sense of security, a lack of a sense of safety, a lack of a sense of having that innate connection to source stability, really. And it also comes from forgetting that anything that's truly real anything that really matters to us cannot threaten us. In fact, nothing can threaten us, right? So there's a way in which when we get caught in the not-yet-ness, that we're doing it from that place of controlling, from that place of needing, insisting, again, insistence equals resistance, right? Insisting that things in the future be different. Why? In order for us to feel a certain way. Those things don't need to change for us to feel that way. We can sit in a meditation, do yoga, do another practice, talk to a dear beloved friend who is loving and understanding and holds space for us, and remember and reconnect with Source, and remember that we are indestructible spirit. So it's an interesting extra point that they're just giving me now. What do these feel like? Take for a moment. Let's see what Fresh is saying. I never really related with planning, yet society has its way of setting goals and planning for future. Yeah, I've struggled with I haven't connected well to the way society does that as well. I always wondered if planning is really important or divine plans are different. I think planning is important when it comes to projects like the council is talking about. And you see, planning, here's the thing. For me, planning is a very, where does it, think about where the energy of planning lives. It lives in the mind. And the mind lives in the third density, the third dimensional physical space, right here in time space. It doesn't, so planning for physical things, I think, is an important component of taking action. And you don't always need a plan to take action. In fact, you can get so obsessed, we as humans can get so obsessed about needing a plan that then we are frozen in inaction, right? Analysis paralysis. We get frozen in inaction. So some people live from a place of planning everything out, and that a friend of mine called it the well-planned life. I don't like the well-planned life. I like to live the inspired life. She called it the well-summoned life. I call it the inspired life, where life just inspires me to move forward. I have excitements, I have ideas, etc. I don't need to plan everything out. However, sometimes I need to plan my day out. If I'm having trouble focusing, I might need to, if I'm having trouble remembering to meditate, for example, I might need to make a commitment on that level. It's not exactly a plan. So there is usage to plans, but to live from the place of the plan, what happens? I mean, we've all met people and maybe even personally had experiences where somebody gets so upset because life's not going according to plan. That's when we identify so strongly with what a plan is, and that can be culturalized, right? We can get that idea and concept and belief system from society or from parents or from schooling or wherever, right? But again, because our reality is purely, this is something to really take in, guys, listen closely, because our reality, your reality, is 100% dictated by your beliefs. If you believe you should be living from a plan and you get upset when things don't go according to plan, it's not the plan's fault, and it's not even your fault. It's not even really fault. This is the opportunity to question. This is a belief. This isn't how life's unfolding. This is unfolding because of the belief, right? Why was I upset this morning with this particular individual in my job? Because I believed they were trying to do something that I didn't approve of. I have a belief over it. Whatever it is, it's my responsibility to let go of the belief. So yeah, in physical reality and lots of the things that, people have to do and work and all that, yeah, there's a lot of planning. But sometimes that's how some people have to move through things, right? So yeah, I think the main point is not creating an attachment to the plan, not over-identifying with the plan, not making the plan the reality, because then what happens is you miss all the beautiful, magical synchronicity. If you're trying to live by having a life plan, where does all the magic go? That actually sounds kind of boring to me personally. Nothing can harm us, Carrie says. Yes. Captain says, I love the idea of calling something ritual instead of routine. I love that too. That's beautiful. All right, I'm going to continue. And think about, let us find an excellent example for today. Indeed, this is a good one. Life purpose. This is something that many people on your planet are currently going through the process of discernment around this. Now, the mind gets very busy with this particular question, does it not? What is my purpose? The mind is attempting to answer this question from the orientation of a goal or a plan, an objective or a task that must be accomplished. The heart does not take the same approach, and yet when the mind is busy engaging with this, the question of purpose has a very forward-thinking focus, does it not? I have not fulfilled my purpose yet. How will I fulfill my purpose in the future? It creates a longing and a yearning for knowledge, for a sense of certainty, for knowing the way in which things will unfold, and it gets you caught in a spiral that does not ever find itself in completion. You are looping. And in doing this, there is absolutely nothing wrong with asking the question of what is my purpose? For indeed, questions indeed help us expand, do they not? They help us grow, they help us learn. Indeed, the facility or faculty of questioning, that particular skill, is absolutely vital for discerning and digging and sorting and sifting through beliefs that you no longer serve you, that you no longer wish to hold on to. You need the faculty of questioning. However, questioning what your future holds is truly a futile exercise, for it is the mind's attempt to find certainty, guarantees, assurances. So we will relate this briefly to was-ness. The mind's activity in was-ness is thinking back to the past activities and past occurrences and wishing to redo them, wanting do-overs, etc., lamenting, regretting, discouragement, disappointment over what, quote-unquote, has occurred. When the mind is forward-thinking and focusing on the future in its less than helpful manner, it is indeed looking for guarantees. It is looking for certainties. And yet, there are no certainties in your future, or the future does not exist. It is merely an illusion. So when the mind attempts to look forward in time, looking for guarantees, it will never be satisfied. And thus is where we get the term Not-Yet-Ness. There is a sense of continual dissatisfaction, and it definitely disconnects you from the present here and now, and definitely distracts you from what is. And so Not-Yet-Ness, how do we identify this? Well, we've already given many different examples. We ask you to close your eyes and think about a particular topic in which you have been projecting your mind into the future, if you will, projecting into wishing something would occur in order to feel a certain way, or wanting to see a certain something from someone in order to have a certain certainty. Whatever the example or the topic is, our dear friends, hold it in your heart for just this moment. Keep your eyes closed. Hold on to that topic and just allow whatever thoughts you've been thinking about it to come up. Oh my goodness, what is going to happen when I leave this abode? Where is my beloved? What am I going to do about my life purpose? What will happen when this job changes, or when this aspect of work changes for me? I need more money in order to accomplish what I want. All sorts of different examples. Allow the one that is most meaningful to you in the moment to sit in your heart. And our asking of you is not to attach to these thoughts that are associated with it, but be the mindful observer. Watch and witness, and most importantly, as the thoughts about this topic circle and swim through your mind, ask your heart, listen in to how these thoughts are making you feel. Is there a sense of groundedness? We think not. Do you feel any clarity as you go through these thoughts? No, you do not. Do you have a sense of fulfillment? No, there often generates a sense of despair or discouragement or disappointment for not-yet-ness, for not yet. This has not yet occurred. This has not yet occurred. My beloved has not yet shown themselves. My work situation has not yet changed to my liking. My living situation has not yet revealed itself. My life purpose has not yet been made known to me. Our dear beloved friends, the not-yetness is a lie. It is just the mind attempting to grant its assurances and guarantees in order for its smallness to grasp and understand the vastness of who you are. And unfortunately, because the mind lives purely in the physical, purely in the third dimension and third density, it is never able to do this, and yet constantly striving to do it. So, the best way to recognize that you are temporarily living in a state of not-yet-ness is when you are feeling these things, when you are thinking of something and you suddenly notice, I'm feeling a bit discouraged, or a lot discouraged. I'm feeling some despair about the unfolding of this particular topic or focus of my life. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling alone. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm focused on something having not yet occurred. Indeed, these are apt words to help you recognize the thought patterns that bring you into this state of being. So we will allow you to sit with this for just a few more moments. Okay, that was really, really potent. Anybody have any questions? I keep feeling the energy that they're bringing through. You notice how the cadence is very different in talking about this? Like, I'm not necessarily, when I'm channeling, I'm not always like aware of this. I mean, I'm sometimes aware of it, but just like listening to it now, it's just fascinating. There's like a gentle deliberateness actually to what they're talking about. Yeah, it's really, really fascinating. I don't have any other words for that right now. Any questions about that? I'll just go back. Oh, thanks, Marita. Yeah, many of those questions in Buddhism are called unanswerables. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what they're called. Understanding and knowing the concept, I think, is really important. Varsha says, beautiful answer for my question. Exactly how I feel when I think about the future and planning. Beautiful. I love that for you, Varsha. That's so awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that the way they described recognizing the feelings of that, right, is really, really powerful. You know, like, what is overwhelm? Because I was sharing at the beginning how I was dealing with some overwhelm in work. Overwhelmed, sure, it can mean I feel like I have to do it all myself, but really, it's a fear. It's a worry, right? It's not a worry in the moment. It's a worry about how things will be in the future. Oh my God, am I going to be able to handle this if this keeps going, right? We can get very overwhelmed when we're living in the future, when we're in not-yet-ness. And I loved all their different examples. And there's even more. What other examples can we add? My body has not yet done what I would prefer, right? My body or my partner is not behaving the way I want them to. I mean, just whatever. We can think of any life situation and we could very easily find ourselves in not-yet-ness. Every time I find myself in not-yet-ness, I get in such a funk. Like it truly disconnects me from the divine. And I don't recognize it right away. And sometimes there's much more to it than just that. but at the very basis of it, it does disconnect me from the divine. It disconnects me from the moment. It disconnects me from actually being able to look at what is and say, what is what is. And this is exactly the way it is right now, right? It just takes me somewhere else. And it, and I'm not talking about like positive visualizations and things like that, right? But yeah, just that whole not-yet-ness. Very, very cool. Energy, Carrie says, energy follows thought. Absolutely. Gwen says, I've been thinking about impatience lately. Wonderful one to also pay attention to. And I'm asking my body what it is wanting when I feel this. Yeah, impatience. I'm feeling impatient. I'm feeling impatient. That means I have an expectation of one thing, and I'm looking for that expectation to be fulfilled, but I'm not seeing evidence of it. So I'm impatient because I'm impatient for this to change, for example, or I'm being impatient with my body, or I'm being impatient with my coworker, or I'm being impatient with my partner, right? What is at the root of that? What belief is at the root of that? There's nothing wrong with the emotion. The emotion is just an indicator. The emotion is an indicator of where our thoughts are focused on, and it's letting us know our thoughts are focused on something that is not in alignment with the way that Source views it. Abraham Hicks has been teaching this for 30, 40 years. Bashar's been teaching that kind of stuff for 40 years, right? So this might be new information for some folks, but this information has been present for a long time. And it's very powerful to begin to practice and recognize that an emotion is just an indicator. There's nothing wrong with an emotion. In fact, for me, emotions are more factual than anything else because I process everything through emotions. So for me to feel an emotion is very real. And then when I get to the root of it and take a look at what the belief is behind that emotion, that adds an extra layer of depth that I can investigate. And then I can choose, do I want this belief or do I want to let it go? Carrie says, you think negative, that's what you get. Positive thoughts yield positive results. Well, yes, sort of. The thing that I want to steer away from here is going the route of the power of positive thinking. I don't believe in the power of positive thinking. You can actually dupe yourself. It can be helpful. It's definitely, I don't want to diss it entirely, but it is possible to dupe yourself with the power of positive thinking. Because what it is really about is an energetic state. It is really about the emotions. I know, not that way. I'm just making sure. It's really about the emotions. So what I like to call it is the power of positive feeling. Because since we always have the power of choice, and feelings let us know what we're currently choosing, we can then choose something different, and we would feel differently. We can choose our focus, and we can feel differently. Just like the example I gave earlier when I was out on my walk and I was completely upset about this work situation. And then I walked under this, we'll call it a hibiscus tree, and I was overcome with the love and the beauty of that tree, like, dropping its leaves on the sidewalk for me to walk through all that beauty. In that moment, I chose to focus on that instead of the upset I was undergoing. And in that instant, I felt the joy. I felt the connection to Source. I felt love. I felt amazed that this tree would honor me with dusting the sidewalk with these beautiful pink and white flowers. That was a choice of where I put my mind, right? It wasn't a random event. I paid attention to that. I chose to pay attention to it. I could have walked by. I could have ignored it and stay in my stupor and in my gunk. Yeah. Emotions are strong, and yes, just like an indicator, choice is the greatest gift. 44 people right now. Yes, actually, I think they fixed it. It says 44 joined, but there's only 15 here now. I don't know what that means. Anyways, let's continue. I think the council's wrapping up. Now, one of the best things you can do, our dear friends, when you catch yourself in the not-yet-ness, is to simply bring one or both of your hands gently up to your beautiful heart chakra and to simply do the exercise from which we started this transmission. It is indeed the heart to teach my mind is one of the most powerful tools that Greg has ever learned for helping to drop him out of his head and into his heart. For if you truly wish to live a life of synchronous fulfillment, you must follow your heart and not your mind, our dear friends. And so we love this particular teaching of heart teach my mind. And what is important, not just in the saying of it, but is in the physical interaction. You can do this with the palm of your hand, or you can do this as the EFTers do. So they're referencing something that I learned about 15 years ago from a channeled entity called Heart Teach My Mind. If you're new to me, I have a beautiful track called Heart Teach My Mind. It is a very heart-centered practice, and it's very, very simple. You just push one hand on your heart, and you just tap it very gently and slowly, and you say, heart, teach my mind. Heart, teach my mind. Heart, teach my mind. And you just keep going until you're feeling more grounded, more centered, more calm. With the tip of your finger, if you wish. But what is important is the saying of the phrase, heart, teach my mind, and the tapping of the body. This brings you back into the physical moment, into the here and now. It invites you to remember that your heart is the leader of your life, and it is the one that can see far beyond what the mind is capable of seeing. And so after 3 days, our dear friends, we have discussed Is-ness, we have discussed whatness, wasness, and we have discussed Not-Yet-Ness, Not-Yet-Ness. Indeed, not always easy to articulate these words in their ness forms, and we like this. It is fine to stumble on the words, and indeed, we invite you to begin to practice on a daily basis the recognition of which state of being you are living from. When you catch yourself living from a place of wasness or not-yetness, we also invite and encourage you to simply be the mindful observer. No judgment, no additional stories or analysis, simply discernment and recognition. Ah, there I go, living in not-yetness. Oh, that is the simple indication that I can return to Is-ness. And so do heart teach my mind, or do any breathing exercises you so wish, anything that engages you back into the moment, into the present, into being present with what is. And we will discuss this much more in the coming days, but our goal with the instruction on wasness and not-yetness is to help you do this discernment so that when you come back to focusing on Is-ness, you can drop more and more deeply into it. For indeed, a large aspect of Is-ness is this incredible sense of presence. It is much deeper than that. It goes beyond just being here and now. It goes into the realm of essential knowing, which we will begin to discuss with you next week. We so dearly love you and celebrate every single aspect of you. We are so happy and joyful and
Carrie.
honored to gather together with you in community, in communion, energetically, as we explore these new concepts for you. Some of these are old concepts for others, and yet together it is new for all of us as a community. And we wish to gently and lovingly remind you that you are here together. And for this, we celebrate every single day, and we will leave you with this for now, so that you may ask any questions that you wish of our beloved channel.
There we go.
Wow. Questions, comments? Not-Yet-Ness. I love how the end they talked about their goal is helping us to simply recognize when we're in wasness, or when we're in not-yetness, or when we're in Is-ness, and to do it without extra judgment, but to do it without piling on new stories and new analyses, so really just being, and I love how they said it, oh, there I go, living in not-yetness. Ah, right? There's a level of allowing, there's a level of acceptance. There's a, like, it's like when I think about it, I feel like the mind would find us in not-yet-ness or wasness and go like, oh, you shouldn't be there. Goodness gracious, that's so wrong, right? Whereas the heart would be like, oh, hey, I see you living from not-yet-ness. Oh, that's cool. How's that working for you, right? I feel like the heart would respond very differently than the mind. And I love how they're inviting and encouraging us to recognize that, to bring the heart into the introspection of this, into the recognition of it, right? And it is only through recognizing when we're living in not-yet-ness or living in wasness, right, that we can recognize that we're not in the moment, and then we can come back to is-ness. Now, the subtle paradoxical thing, remember the definitions. Wasness is is-ness weighed down by story. Not-yet-ness is is-ness weighed down by yearning, longing, projection, looking into the right. The commonality is that it's all is-ness. So wasness, is-ness, and yet not-yet-ness are all is-ness. And I know they talk about this in the next week's recordings or replays, transmissions, right? So there's a paradox there, right? If you're in wasness and you get all upset about it, then the upset is further indication that you're still not in is-ness. But if you're in wasness and you go, oh, hey, look at me living from wasness. Cool. Okay. Maybe I'll stay here for a bit. Maybe I'm getting something from this. Maybe I'm investigating, maybe I'm investigating something that I need to be in not wasness for right now. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to criticize myself. I'm not going to invalidate it. However, this is a great reminder that I'm not living purely from is-ness right now, purely in the moment. So, maybe I'll come back to the moment right now. Really, it's just like, can you see the difference? Can you feel the difference? Carrie says, why, of course, love the universe is a paradox in a way. Of course, there's lots of paradox. How we're physical and yet non-physical. Yeah. Questions, comments about that difference? There's a fascinating subtlety here, and I'm feeling it. Hopefully you guys are feeling it too. There is a fascinating subtlety here. And what's the funniest commonality across all of this? Wasness, is-ness, not-yet-ness. The one thing, not so much the is-ness, the one thing is that we are the person experiencing it. We're the perceiver. We are the one focusing. So we're the agent. We're the active portion of this, right? And so we have a choice of how we wish to respond to this. And sometimes it's hard. I was lost in this work challenge that I've been feeling and experiencing for 3 hours this morning. Now, for me, that's a long time. So I was really upset. Now, for other people, maybe folks who are newer to these kind of concepts or newer to emotions or whatever, no judgment. Everybody has a different process. It takes a different amount of time. I've been practicing for years, and I could get upset for having been in it for 3 hours. Like, I can feel that piece of me that wants to say that I lost 3 hours this morning. That's not true. I didn't lose them, but there is a certain way in which I got lost in it. I got caught up in it, right? I was entirely focused on the frustration and the discouragement and the demoralization of the situation that was going on. And they were all just my feelings until I took a walk, until I meditated, until I started to shift my focus. So it's not always easy. I'm not saying that it's supposed to be easy. I prefer things to be easy personally, but it's not always easy. And the observer, Marita, thank you. Yes, we are the perceiver and the observer. So we're holding both those roles. Yeah. Gwen says we're perceiving and Source is enjoying all of it with us. Yeah, I love how the council says that they're celebrating each and every single moment with us. Every single one, even the ones that where we're pissed off or we're overwhelmed or where we're impatient or where we're hurting or where we're sad. They're celebrating it because it's all part of expanding Source. It's so amazing. Yes, this is how Source experiences itself through us being human. Jackie and the creator, the observer, the perceiver, and the creator. Absolutely. Good to see you, Jackie. Gwen asks, does the council have anything else they want to tell us today? You know what? They might. We're getting close. Well, actually, I don't have any meetings I need to rush off to, so we can spend a little more time. Let's see if we have anything. I need an extra drink. Hello and greetings, our dear friends. We greet you from the energetic realms on this fine, beautiful day. It may be raining in your environment. It may be sunny. It may be cloudy. It may be misty. It may be hot. It may be cold. It doesn't matter, for we are with you. We love and celebrate every single bit of weather that you walk through, and indeed, every single bit of emotional climate that you go through. Indeed, this truly is one of our greatest celebrations. For when you are experiencing any particular emotion, dear ones, please, we invite you, if you so possibly can, to simply be present with it. Allow it to be exactly as it is. For the worst suffering that a human can ever experience isn't the feeling itself, but is the piling on of stories and judgments and criticisms on top of said feelings. This indeed is one of the worst sufferings. For what happens is you get into this infernal spiral in which judgment is piled upon, criticism is piled upon, disappointment is piled upon, and piled upon, and piled upon, and piled upon, and piled, and you get where we're going. And then you are suddenly buried beneath a huge pile of mental and emotional gunk. And it can be very difficult to dig yourself out of that at times. It is not impossible, our dear ones. It is not impossible. So we invite you again, encourage you to simply be present with it. Acknowledge the is-ness in the moment. Acknowledge the is-ness of the feelings. If you are thinking about something from the past and you are feeling regret, if you are feeling disappointment, if you are feeling sadness, there is no need to create new stories and beliefs around it. Simply sit with it, dear ones. Acknowledge, I feel sad. Our dear beloved channel, Greg, will readily admit that he often begins to feel better when he is upset, when he reaches out to an individual. It doesn't really matter who, as long as he knows and feels comfortable with this person and simply says what he's feeling. The minute he says what he's feeling, there is, for him in particular, others need to write this down, others need to do other things for this, but for him, it completes the circle of acknowledgement, if you will. For being where he's at and feeling the feelings is one thing, but the minute he begins to acknowledge them with another individual, it comes full circle and he realizes, I'm okay. When you're in the not-yet-ness and you are worried or scared, fearful, negatively expecting, longing, yearning for something, and you are in that not-yet-ness, and it is frustrating you to no end, or you are feeling that discouragement, overwhelm, impatience, whatever it may be, stop, catch yourself for a moment and say, look at me, I'm feeling impatient. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling scared. It is not dictating your reality, it is just letting you know where you're at in the moment. So indeed, the teachings around was-ness and not-yet-ness are very, very powerful. You may not necessarily associate well with these terms, but we do love them. There is something very fun about slapping on the ness on the end of another word. Is there not? Yes, indeed. And so, again, all of this is is-ness, dear ones. All of this is is-ness. There is indeed a paradigm shift around it. There is a paradox. There is subtlety. And bear in mind that even while we are talking with you right now, we are not just sharing words. We are sharing energy with you. It is not essential that your mind understands the topic, but it is essential that you feel the knowing of this in your heart at some point. And trust us, dear ones, you may not actually feel or see or perceive the whole picture with your heart right in this very moment. Allow this to unfold in the way that it will. For every single life situation is the opportunity to really be a student of Is-ness, if you will, to be a student of your emotions, to be a student of whatever it is you are wishing to investigate in terms of your own spiritual growth and progress. For indeed, every single moment is an opportunity. Every single moment is an opportunity, and every single moment is a choice. So indeed, we will not add anything more to this right now. As always, we love and appreciate gathering with you. We are very looking forward to what you will be listening to in the replay tomorrow. And this is indeed one of our favorite topics. Believe we have shared the Moments of Joy game with you several times. That is what is being discussed tomorrow. We highly welcome and invite and encourage anyone to attend, because as some of you will clearly have stated and will continue to state in evidence of this, the Moments of Joy game can indeed be a powerful and enlightening practice for you, and something that you can do at any particular moment of time. So we will be discussing this more tomorrow. And for now, dear ones, we send out a beautiful big hug to you. We celebrate the rain that falls upon your heads. We celebrate the sunshine, the clouds that are overhead you. We celebrate every single movement of every single cell in your body and every single thought that flows in and out of your mind, whether it is circling or skittering or calmly resting at the root of your mind, as well as every single emotion that ebbs and flows within your heart space. All of these are beautiful aspects of what it means to be human. And while all of them have their own place and process and timing in your lives, it is so beautiful to us. And we hope that someday you will indeed be able to sit with us in celebration of each and every single moment, each and every single thing that we are effortlessly and joyfully celebrating about you. For you are indeed quite amazing and beautiful. You have come down to planet Earth, this master class of planet Earth, with the intention to contribute, to be present to this powerful, incredible time on the planet. For indeed, every single time on the earth is truly powerful, but this one in particular is quite special. You have willingly intended and set the intention to be present at this time. You have all come together in these live streams, in this community, in the larger community. You've all come together intentionally for a much bigger purpose than simply just hanging out. So we leave you with that reminder today. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being you and for being here. Madeline says, love the conversation, and then subtle differences clear. Well, I'm glad you can perceive it, Madeline. That's so cool. Carrie says, every single moment is an opportunity. Neil, embracing the human experience. Yes, well said, Neil. Embracing the human experience. Finding gratitude wherever possible and moving forward. And when you don't find gratitude, be okay with it. Just be with it. You don't have to shift it. You can choose to shift it. Yeah, embracing the human experience. I am more and more thinking, while I may individually have a specific purpose, Greg as a person has a purpose, the purpose of life is exactly what Neil just said, embracing the human experience. So I believe that we as humans have an innate, designed-in experience or purpose to just experience life, to be life. That's our purpose. That's why we're here. We came here to experience our own unique perspective as expressed by us individually and the choices that we make throughout our lifetime. That's why we came here. Now, whether we have another purpose like mine, to guide people, to spark them, to spark and witness, what did I say earlier? To spark and witness their breakthrough and aha moments, like that's totally my purpose, right? That's my excitement. That's my joy. That will change Because my purpose 30 years ago was not that. My purpose 30 years ago was to educate and inspire. Yes. Gwen, thank you so much for your donation, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. Always love the donations. I love new follows. If you haven't followed me yet, please consider doing so. This month, we are doing a reprise, replays of all the April transmissions from the Council about Is-ness. There is some really fun stuff coming, so please do consider following so that you can get notified of when that stuff's coming up. I understand that some of our new live stream features are coming in about a week. So I'm going to be playing around with those next week. They're new features that Insight Timer just brought to teachers with the whole new interface. And some of them are really fun. Like I can post, how do I describe this? I'll be able to like put a card up on the screen for you guys, like for tomorrow's live stream, for example. I can't do that now. I have to wait till these features go live. But I'll be able to put up a little card, and then it'll show tomorrow's live stream, and you'll be able to sign up for it right there. Like how freaking cool that is. Or I'll be able to put up my profile, and you can just follow right there. You don't have to do a lot of clicking, apparently. So these new tools are going to be super, super fun. I'm really excited about those. Any questions about what happened today? Any sharing? We've covered a lot of ground. We've really covered, I feel like, wow, this has been a lot. How you guys feeling? Jackie Mancuso, how are you, my friend? That was a lot to unpack. Yeah. And we have this beautiful waterfall behind us the whole time. Hi, Cecilia. Oh, my God. So cool to see you. God, I feel like it's been ages. How are you, sweetheart? Cecilia says, super duper changes. Hi, Greg. The font is so small, though. I know. The font is very small on your guys' end. I can actually see chat better on my side newly. So, feeling great, Gwen says. Thanks. You are welcome, dear. You are welcome, my dear. Tomorrow, we're doing I'm looking marvelous. Thank you, Cecilia. Other than my occasional times when I have to acknowledge feeling bad, I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good, and thank you. I appreciate you saying I'm looking marvelous. Yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna be where is it? I know it's the Moments of Joy game, but they're discussing something else that they didn't mention. Tomorrow, what we're gonna talk about and listen to is, I'm trying to find the video. April 7th. Ooh, Now-Ness and the Moments of Joy game. That's tomorrow's topic. Now-Ness and the Moments of Joy game. Joanne says, feeling revitalized and ready for my day at the gallery. Oh, I love that for you, Jojo. That's super cool. Hey, Gary. This was a very interesting session, he said. Well, that's wonderful. What was interesting about it, Gary? Do tell us. It may be difficult to type out, and that's okay. Just a reminder or a new notice for anybody who's new to me. Hello, my name is Greg Phillips. I'm a way shower and a champion for other people's breakthrough aha moments. I am streaming live on Insight Timer every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain for the rest of May, and probably for the foreseeable future, because, man, there's so much that the council wants to bring through to us, and there's plenty of yummy, delicious things to discuss. So please feel free to come and join us 4 times a week. And I also have plenty of stuff happening on the side outside of Insight Timer. If you are curious in any way about that, or if you are wanting to connect with me in any way, please check out my teacher link on my teacher's profile page. There you can have access to all sorts of wonderful things that are also going on that unfortunately I cannot offer in Insight Timer, nor can I say more about. So let's see. Cecilia took my baby to the airport yesterday, reclaiming my space. Congratulations. She moved to Oregon. Oh my. Well, that's not too far. Gary says, how different you are when the council is speaking. Oh, What do you mean, Gary? It feels different to me. Madeline says, so lovely to see so many friends in the chat. Some I recognize even from other teachers' lives. Waving to you all. Love our community. I do too, Madeline. Thank you for waving to everybody. It's always nice to be here with all of you. I appreciate all of your presence today. Thank you for being here. Our community does rock, Cecilia. I agree with you. And when I say our community, it's actually concentric circles of community, right? Like sure, we have our community, like the people who come and spend time on my lives, but then there's our community of all the people who go to other lives as well. And then there's our community of, even bigger than that. And then our community of everybody who's an Insight Timer who goes to lives. And then our community of everybody who's Insight Timer, including all the ones who don't go to lives, right? And again, it's all our community. It's kind of how I think about it. It is the collective, Carrie. Oh, Marietta, thank you for the hearts. Sacred geometry. I love concentric circles. Instead, I love pyramids too. I like that, lots of different shapes. But my favorite business model that I heard about a couple of years ago was this model of concentric circles. And I thought, oh, this is beautiful because it's one whole. Instead of rungs on a ladder and a hierarchy, there's still a structure to it, but each concentric circle is held within the others. And so unity and wholeness are maintained. It's really quite beautiful when I think about it. Gary says there's no hesitation. You're translating their information, not yours. Yes, it's true. It's a very interesting state to be in, channeling wise. There is sometimes hesitation. Sometimes I get in the way. Sometimes, because I'm not a full trance channel. I consider myself a conscious channel. I'm to a large degree. I'm not 100% present when I'm channeling, but I'm still very much there. Like, I feel the way that the energy flows, I feel that I could, either I'm approaching or I already could do this. I don't know, maybe we'll find out someday. But I feel like I could flip a switch and speak as myself, and then flip a switch and speak as them. I feel like I could go back and forth with that. Or maybe I'm getting close to being able to do that. I have no idea what that would be like. But there is, the way they speak to me isn't a voice. I get, and anyone who's been with me on lives since I started in December 2023, I've basically always been channeling. But I get it as blocks of thought and blocks of energy and blocks of information. And then there is a bit of a process for translating it. And so sometimes I'll stumble over the words as they come out, or sometimes the block of thought holds so much information that my brain, and I can only do this from a very high vibration state, right? My brain will then have to parse out the pieces. And so it's fascinating to me how it comes out. I don't fully understand it, but I really do enjoy it. Madeline says, yes, Greg, one big heartful community. Yeah, absolutely. Madeline says, oh yes, Carrie, I've noticed that too. Also, Greg uses other words, another tone and pace of speech. I do, don't I? I gotta be honest, I don't listen to myself channeling that much. So this is a fun, interesting, and sometimes slightly awkward and a little bit embarrassing to do these reprises, but it is very. The first day on Monday, it was weird watching myself and listening to myself. As of today, now I feel like I'm listening to like one of the other channels that I follow, who I like to listen to their stuff. So I guess I'm feeling more detached and objective about it. But it's fascinating to hear you guys sharing what you're recognizing as differences in how the council talks and how I talk. It's definitely different. It's fun. Carrie says translation gets in the way with me anyway. Translation can get in the way with me too. One of my biggest fears, and I'm working with the council on this, is that my beliefs, any channeling is always filtered through the channel's filters, right? And of course, the council came to me specifically because of our existing relationship and my experiences in life and how relevant they are. Or how did they say it? That I had the appropriate life experience for understanding and conveying the topics that they want to discuss, whatever that means. So it's interesting. I may reach a point where I am completely out of the picture for channeling, kind of like how Esther Hicks is. I'm hoping maybe someday I can reach a point where I can have my eyes open and channel. I have no idea what that would be like. But I can't do that right yet because I'm still very present during the channeling. So it's fascinating. Hey, Carolina, good to see you, dear friend. Our dear friends Rev J channels on IT2, and true, the voice tone and pace changes. It does. And speaking of Rev J, and with my dearly beloved Jackie Mancuso, friend and fellow teacher here, yes, we are, Cecilia. Jackie is going to be our hostess with the mostess. We are doing a 3-way collab. We're doing a channeling mashup. And we don't have a date yet because Jackie was traveling, having an amazing trip in Peru. And then she had this, was it a, Jackie, are you still here, sweetheart? It was a line dancing convention she had to do or something. And Rev J and I have been dealing with a lot on our plates. Now, most of that stuff, no, please get everybody excited. I am excited about the mashup. We did a trial run. Jackie was inspired. She grabbed a deck and she pulled 2 cards, and then Jay and I went into our channeling states, and Jackie talked about the cards, and then each Peshma, who Rev J channels, and then the council each talked about different things about each card, which was really fascinating, and we had so much fun. So we're really looking forward to doing this mashup. We just haven't scheduled it. My March and April were so friggin' busy that, and I was adjusting to doing Coffee with the Council. So we will bring it to you. I promise. It's going to be super fun. It already is fun. I already feel how fun and amazing it is. So we're going to be doing that as a collab, the 3 of us. So keep an ear to the ground, or what do you say? Keep a finger to the touchpad. Keep whatever. Turn your notifications on so that you know when we're going to have that collab, and I'll try and keep you guys informed about that. Yeah, it is amazing, Carolina. I think it's going to be super, super fun. All right, dear friends, I have to get back to work. You're going to hold us to that. Very good. Carrie calls me Little G because I'm only a few years younger than her. Cecilia says, I like Star Trek. Boldly go where no one else has gone. Yes, indeed. All right, how's everybody feeling about today's message? Are we good? Do we feel complete? Are we complete? Can I let you go and us going back into our days? I will see you all tomorrow, 1 p.m. Mountain. We're going to talk about nowness, or we're going to hear about nowness and the Moments of Joy game. I know I haven't gotten to it yet, but I promise to turn the Moments of Joy game into a track. I think it's going to be a lovely, lovely track. I just doing my best right now with everything that's on the plate. Carrie is complete. Gwen is complete. Yes. Wonderful. Hopefully everybody else is. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to whoever donated, past, present, or future. Thank you to just for being you. I love being here with you guys. It's so much fun. And hopefully some people had some ahas today. Cecilia says, I'm back to work tomorrow. Good to see you, Greg. It's good to see you too, Cecilia. We should catch up sometime. Gwen says, I'm excited to hear about how you get through your current work experience. Yeah, I'm a little nervous now that because I'm a little nervous about my boss having a meeting with this other guy, and if I'm not present for it, actually I have a choice, don't I? I'm going to let that nervousness go, because I know that one of the beneficial outcomes is that we're going to be able to refine our work processes in a way that is going to work better for everybody, so that I don't feel like someone is stepping on my toes, but that we're getting what they're bringing up is being surfaced and paid attention to. So in saying that out loud to all of you, I'm actually feeling a greater sense of positive expectation around how this will unfold. Now, as I even just said that, I can feel myself shifting into a fun little sense of curiosity. Now I'm really curious to see how this will unfold, because now that I know that I'm safe and that nobody can harm me, and that my job is I mean, I love my job. It's an absolute, on the moments of joy scale, sure, this morning I was feeling like it was a 2 or a 3, but realistically, just like collectively as a whole, I love my job. It's definitely an 8 on the moments of joy scale. So yeah, now I'm really, really curious. Absolutely curious. So we'll see what happens. I will probably know more tomorrow, but I'm going to stay off the one platform where I'm getting triggered right now, because I don't need to do that. All right, my dear friends, loving you so much. Love you dearly. I'm going to send you off and away until we chat again tomorrow. Take good care. Mwah.